Why, in a city as forward-thinking as Melbourne, are we still missing a basic airport rail line? Melbourne is a world-class city, thriving, bustling, known for its culture and livability. But we're lacking a simple rail link to Tullamarine. Other cities like Sydney, London, and Hong Kong have nailed it, with smooth transit options reducing traffic and cutting down costs. Melbourne? We're still waiting. About 72% of us support it, yet the holdups remain. Today we'll dive into why this project keeps getting delayed. Is it politics, private interests, poor planning, or just plain stalling? When going to Tullamarine Airport, people have two main choices: drive and pay up to $50 a day for parking, or catch a skybus and share a ride with other passengers. If you hit peak hour traffic, it can take ages to get there. This isn't a one-off problem. Millions of people travel through Melbourne Airport every year, making it one of Australia's busiest airports. A direct train to the airport would make things much easier for both locals and visitors. No more sitting in traffic or searching for a parking spot, just a quick and easy train ride straight to the terminal. An airport rail link would also help reduce traffic across the city. Fewer cars and taxis on the road during busy times would benefit everyone. Melbourne is known for being a great place to live, but without the right infrastructure, we're falling behind. About 72% of Melburnians support the idea of an airport rail link. That's a lot of people who are tired of waiting and dealing with delays. Other cities have successfully built airport rail links. Sydney has had its airport rail since the 2000s, and London's Heathrow Express has been running since 1998, providing a smooth ride from the airport to the city. So, why is Melbourne still waiting for something so necessary? Melbourne needs an airport rail link. It's important not just for travelers, but also to keep our city competitive with other major cities around the world. We want to make getting to the airport easier and more reliable for everyone. So, if it's so important, why can't we make it happen? The story of the Melbourne Airport rail link is a long and winding road. Discussions about a rail connection date back to the 1970s. Over the decades, there have been numerous government promises and plans, but little action. Each time it seemed like progress was being made, another hurdle appeared. In recent years, things began to look more hopeful. The government finally committed to the project and secured $10 billion in funding to make it a reality. This funding is split between state and federal governments, and the proposed route is set to run through Sunshine. It looked like we were finally on the right track. However, setbacks have plagued the project. There have been funding struggles and unexpected delays that keep pushing the timeline back. Changing governments have also played a role, with different leaders prioritizing different projects. Each new administration brings its own set of priorities, and sadly, the airport rail link hasn't always made the cut. Moreover, there's a noticeable lack of political will. While the public supports the project, it hasn't been a top priority for many politicians. This has led to frustration among Melburnians, who see the need for this rail link but are tired of the endless talk with no action. The journey of the Melbourne Airport rail link has been a roller coaster, with hopes raised and dashed time and time again. Each promise and commitment adds to the frustration, leaving many wondering if the rail link will ever truly become a reality. The route for the Melbourne Airport rail link has been a hot topic of debate. The plan is to run the rail line through Sunshine, rather than taking a direct route from the city to the airport. While this route makes use of existing infrastructure and helps save on costs, it's not the most direct path for travelers. Melbourne Airport has been pushing for an underground station. This option would allow for direct access to the terminals, making it more convenient for passengers. It also opens the door for future expansions as the airport grows. However, the Victorian government prefers an above-ground option. This choice is seen as cheaper and simpler to construct, but it doesn't provide the same level of convenience for travelers. This disagreement has created tension between the airport's private interests and the government's focus on costs. The airport wants a design that maximizes passenger access and future growth, while the government is concerned about keeping expenses down. This clash of priorities has contributed to delays and frustrations surrounding the project, as both sides struggle to find common ground. Another layer to this issue is the financial aspect. Melbourne Airport currently earns around $160 million annually from parking fees. With a rail link in place, many travelers would likely choose the train over driving and paying for parking. This could significantly cut into the airport's parking revenue. This raises suspicions that the airport may be stalling the project to protect its profits, prioritizing financial gain over the convenience of the public. If the airport can keep people relying on cars, it maintains a steady stream of income. The situation highlights a broader concern about the influence of the private sector on public infrastructure projects. When profit motives come into play, it can complicate decision-making and lead to delays that frustrate the public. The Melbourne Airport Rail Link case shows how private interests can sometimes overshadow the needs of the community, leaving residents and travelers waiting for a much-needed connection. The delays in the Melbourne Airport Rail Link project reflect a larger pattern of unfinished infrastructure in the city. Many other projects have faced similar setbacks, raising questions about government efficiency. When we look around, it's clear that Melbourne needs significant investment in its transport systems to keep up with growth. Unfortunately, these ongoing issues only highlight a failure to act decisively. These delays also have real consequences for Melbourne's reputation. As a city that prides itself on livability and innovation, falling behind on essential infrastructure can tarnish that image. Visitors may think twice about coming here, and businesses may hesitate to invest in a city that doesn't seem to prioritize modern transportation solutions. The lack of an airport rail link represents a lost opportunity. It's a chance to make life easier and more accessible for everyone. Residents who want a quick way to get to the airport, tourists seeking a smooth arrival experience, and businesses that thrive on efficient transport options. Each year that passes without progress means more frustration and inconvenience for countless people. So why has the Melbourne Airport rail link taken so long? From political changes to design disputes and financial concerns, a mix of issues has stalled what should be a straightforward project. To move forward, there needs to be a clear commitment from all parties involved: government, airport authorities, and the public. As we look ahead, the question remains, can we finally make it happen by 2033, or is this just another broken promise? The answer isn't clear, but what is important is to keep the conversation alive. We need to hold our leaders accountable for the infrastructure improvements they promise. Let's keep pushing for progress, because a well-connected Melbourne is a better Melbourne. Together, we can advocate for the airport rail link and ensure it doesn't become just another dream that slips through the cracks.